Hey, friend. Hey. Hey. I don't know why I have to do that. I think that's like my thing. Anyhow, I'm trying out a new spot because I want it to be comfortable. First of all, it is like spring weather outside. It's super hot and I needed air. And I just felt like everything was touching me everywhere I was. So we're in a new spot today. Okay. And if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. Take that up with Jesus. Anyhow, I'm doing my February wrap up. Now I know that it is controversial to do so. Why is it controversial? I don't know. I'm still going to do it because I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for you, for the people who want to see it, and the people who want book recommendations. Because guess what? That's actually what this is for. Because if I tell you a book I like, maybe you will want to read it, and vice versa. See, one of the first books I read this month was Desperate Measures by Katee Robert, and I gave it 3 stars. Was it good? Yes. Was there a lot of smut? A lot of it. There was a lot. There was also some really cool pictures in the book. But that being said, the whole book just, the way that the first chapter took off, I just knew that that book was just going to be bam, 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 bam. But it wasn't. It actually unbammed. While I was reading Desperate Measures, I took a break in the middle of it because, again, like I said, it just kind of fell flat for me. So, in between while reading that, Sparrow and Scythe came out. So, I immediately went and got it and I started reading it. And I finished it in about a day and a half. And I gave that one 4 stars. And the reason why I gave it 4 stars is because while I liked Fiona and I liked how his character moved through the book, I wasn't really a fan of how unhinged, not unhinged, I guess I should say, Rose was. I expected her to be just like kooky, and she just did not give me that character. But I still like the book. I really like the peekaboo at the end. If you're not a person who reads epilogues, you need to in this book because we might be going somewhere. Where we're going, I don't know, but we could be going somewhere. So you need to read the epilogue. I'm just saying. I listened to a book called The Fake Out by Stephanie Archer, and I gave it 3 stars. I gave it 3 stars because, yeah, I don't know. It just, we weren't vibing well together. I was recommended this next book by a friend, Say You Swear by Meagan Brandy. She had told me to read Meagan Brandy a while back, and it just so happens that one day I was walking through Walmart and I saw this book and I was like, oh, that's pretty. So I picked it up. And it's random for me to just pick up a book and not read what it's about or anything. I just picked it up and I thought it was a pretty book. So I put it in my buggy and I just paid for it and left. And I buddy read this with another friend. And wow, I was expecting romance, fluff, happy ever after. And while it had that, about 80% through the book, it ripped my heart out. And then I thought we were piecing my heart back together, only for it to give me a little bit of panic at like 90-95% of the way through. And I was like, oh my God, is this book not going to end good? Like, am I going to end like this? I just knew for sure that I was going to be staring out into space after this book. And I didn't. It did heal me a little bit at the end. Um, the only reason why I gave it, what was it? I gave it 4 stars, I think is what it was because some of the immaturity with some of the characters I wasn't vibing with. Another book that I listened to was Promised in Blood by Sadie Kincaid. I listened to the first one, fell in love, seen that there was a second one, immediately purchased it, started listening to it, and loved every minute of it. This book has dragons. This book has vampires, wolves, witches, and demons and just a lot of crazy things happening all at one time. And there's it's a white choose, and it just was fun, and it was epic, and there's a lot of smut but a really good storyline. And then the end, she waited till we got to the end. She grabbed my tiny heart and ripped it in half. So now I have to wait until March 31st, 2025 to see what happens, because I'm telling you what, that cliffhanger about took me clean on out of here. Another book I listened to was Dear Rosie by S.J. Tilley. I actually started that book in December of 2024. Actually, I started it the 26th, so the day after Christmas, because I enjoyed listening to the first one. And this one took me a while. I literally just finished it the 26th of this month, of this year. And I just couldn't get into it. I gave it 3 stars. I can't even really remember some of what happened in it. I know it's a second chance type thing, sort of, because it's like friendship as kids. There was some time, and then they got back together. Um, he is the best friend of one of the main character in the first book, and it just didn't do it for me. I love S.J. Tilly. I do. It's just this book right here was not for me, but it may be for you. So I recommend that you give it a listen and or read. This last one, I don't want people to judge me, okay? I did not give it a bad rating, actually. I gave it a 5-star rating. But the reason why I'm thinking you guys are going to judge me is because this was popping up on Book Talk like back when I started back in 2021. This book was on and popping. It was everywhere. Everybody was telling me to read it. You need to read this. You need to read this. You need to read this. And sometimes when we get here on Book Talk and or just recommendations in general, sometimes a book can be really overhyped, and so when you read it, you're like, um, I'll give you for instance, from Blood and Ash. That book was recommended to me. I bought the book. I got maybe 3 chapters in, and I have not picked that book back up since. I did a soft DNF because I'm like, maybe I'll come back and read it, but it bored me to tears. I couldn't do it. And I felt like, you know what, this book is probably going to be the same way. And it wasn't. It wasn't. There was betrayal, there was adventure, there was just a lot of things, and I enjoyed all of it. I also listened to it on graphic audio, which I recommend doing because wow, the way that it was the movie that it created in my brain, and the characters and how it made them sound and versus how I thought they looked and everything, it just was amazing. And that was Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I know. Don't don't hate me. Don't judge me. Okay, I said what I said. I know that there was a lot of people saying to read this book, but I just don't like when books are overhyped because sometimes they don't live up to their hypeness. But this one did. It actually did. And the way that it ended, I was like, what? So it's got me like really excited to read the next one. Yes, I bought it. I'm excited about it. Don't judge me. Okay? Don't do it. Like I said before, these ratings, these reviews are all mine. Please do not send any hate to the authors. They do not deserve it because this was my opinion. Not every book is for every person. We all have different brains. And isn't that a good thing that we all have different brains? I would think it'd be a weird world if we all thought the same and liked the same things. If any of these books interest you, I will make sure that you can see who they're by. Please do not tag any of the authors in this. This is not to drag any of them down because I still love these authors and I love their work and I don't want any hate going their way. I cannot wait to see you all on the next one. I hope you have a fantastic day and a wonderful week. Love you guys. Bye bye.